public, and the judge is going to decide on what happens.
Could you explain for the public how the proceedings work after the hearing for the joinder?
Well, the proceedings that were filed sought certain orders injunctions to direct certain things to be done in relation to what the count of Region 4 was. That's the specific one that matters. It asks for all 10 regions, but the ones that is of concern is, of course, Region 4. What happens is we are not parties. We are not named in the litigation. So if you want to be heard, and the law provides very clearly, if you have an interest in a matter, you can make an application to the court and say, Judge, I have an interest, and my interest is as such. Of course, everyone knows what the interest of all the political parties would be in these proceedings, and that is the judge will then give you leave to enter the proceedings. Means you become a party as an added defendant, added respondent. You are then, if you so choose, you file whatever defenses you have. I know, speaking for what I've seen for ANUG and the PPP, all of those papers have been filed already. So what it is in an effort to save time, we've said to the judge we would like to be joined. Once the order for joinder is made, we will say these are what the papers we wish to file in relation to it. It's already been filed, so that there's no delay in the court proceedings, and they can proceed. Then the judge should then adjudicate on what transpires with both sides.
What are your major arguments against the judicial review that has been called upon by Ms. Yulita Monroe of APNU?
Well, Yulita Moore, I think.
Yulita Moore, sorry.
Right. Well, unless you've been under a rock, anybody who's been under a rock since 2 weeks ago, you know that there's a problem with the declarations that were made in Region 4. Section 84.1 is very clear that what should take place is the original statement of polls must be used. That was not done. Spreadsheets were used. Copies were put up on a projector at 4 p.m. with sunlight on a white sheet. No one could see that. So what has happened is there is a difficulty that there has been no compliance. So if there is no compliance, then you have to establish why you're entitled to rely on that declaration. As we all know, there was an agreement between the two main political parties to have a recount done supervised by CARICOM. Now, two main political parties have 3 commissioners each who are their representatives. Those 3 commissioners are their representatives. And as representatives, if your leaders decide that this is the path you go, beggars belief as to why the commission has not voted in favor of it as yet. But that's still to be done. All right?
After the arguments, is the judge likely to make a ruling today?
On the joinders, I think that would happen. I don't know if the full substance of the case depends on what people want to file, and it depends on what is going to be said. I don't know. I couldn't say about that. That is really a matter for the judge. We expect that he will engage with the process in the same way that Chief Justice did, and they are very short timelines, and there's great time pressure to get everything done.
We're hearing that there was something about asking the judge to recuse himself. Was that so?
I saw on social media a number of things. Recusal is a matter for the judge.
Was a request made?
We couldn't talk about that, even if it was or was not, because the rules that apply mean that if you are going to do such an application, that it must be done in chambers. So I couldn't comment to you about that.
Not even if it was done in chambers.
I couldn't comment about that.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. Sanjeev Dachadin, an attorney. They're trying to give us an update of what is happening in the courtroom. He's actually not one of the persons allowed in the courtroom, as he explained. Mr. Douglas Mendez, senior counsel from Trinidad, is going to represent Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, the leader of the opposition in the case, and he's joining on Skype, and Mr. Anil Nandlal is actually in the courtroom. Only lawyers for the parties which are seeking to be heard in this case are allowed in the courtroom, and select media houses are upstairs, but they're not actually in the courtroom. They're outside. The attorneys are inside of the courtroom. And so we will continue to monitor developments here and bring you up to date as soon as we can. This is the newsroom.